Welcome to the Scrapyard. I'm your host, BC.
I'm Aladar.
The Savage.
And I'm Solo.
TFA 1024.
And this week's episode is going to be on what Legacy has done for Transformers. But before we get into the topic, as you all know, this is one of our favorite parts of the show, Figure Appreciation of the Week.
Yay!
So, with the way things are usually, I'm going to go ahead and allow TFA to go first, and then we will work backwards.
Oh, God, Spotlight. Okay, so it's
Easy.
been a while. And I've been graced again with getting some figures early. Well, I mean, the Rise of the Beast stuff came out on February 17th, but this guy didn't.
Ooh, Skyquake.
How the hell did you manage? Oh my God, he's massive.
Yeah, he is massive. Holy crap.
Yeah, cmdstore.com or cmdstore.ca got an early shipment in, similar to how they got Metal Hawk and Twin Cast in, and I jumped the shark and immediately went for him. So
I would have presumed that they would be, China exclusive? The China shipments?
I don't know, probably, but I mean, it came with the package and everything, so I ain't a thief.
No, I'm just saying, because I think they've been spotted in single.
No, I just
yeah.
the bear. That's all. 'cause people
Yeah.
Who was that?
Sounded
That
like an
was-
Optimus.
No, that was Silverbolt doing a thing.
Oh, shit. Sorry. I'm working on it. Hang on. All right, Solo. You are now
All right.
Solo.
I was going to say, considering today's topic was Transformers, I thought I'd go a little different and go for the Walmart exclusive, or Hasbro Pulse if you're in the UK, Retro Edition Headmasters. These have been fantastic. I've got a set of these, and I initially had them when they came out in Titan's Return, but I do like these new Retro Editions.
Mm. Very nice.
All right. You're up, Savage.
I'm going to break the theme a little bit because I don't think I've actually brought this up to you guys before.
Mm.
Wait, I'm sorry, I was out of the room. What I missed?
Model Kit Haro.
What the hell is that?
It's a Haro.
Haros are a Gundam thing, Aladar. I'll explain it in due time.
Okay.
Wait, isn't that the head of that one general guy from SD Gundam Force?
Probably, I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Aladar, you're up.
So mine is super topical because Armada Overload.
Okay.
He's fucking fun. You can link him onto Prime. You have the Headmaster feature. You have what to love. That's
He's
really
also
all I
one of
got to
those-
say about him.
He's also one of the few characters that's a headmaster and a minicon and a target master all in one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
roll out.
BC, what's yours?
Hello. So, I bet most of you thought it was going to be the high-grade Nightingale. It ain't. And don't get me wrong, I want to put that one, but it's not fully done yet. I still got to build weapons and shit on it. So, it's not the Nightingale.
It's also massive.
But, let's just say this one. Let's just say with how life has been for me, I needed a little bit of assistance.
Oh,
Lightning
Your-
Collection Deluxe Blue Centurion, thanks to the oh-so greatness of the Savage.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you very much, my friend. It's a great figure. I really do enjoy it. And I'm telling you guys right now, despite everything I've heard from everyone, now that I have it in hand and I've had a chance to mess with this, this is in the docket. This is in the fucking docket. For those who don't know what I
This is
mean,
fine.
docket for Figure Appreciation of the Year.
Oh, we're going that far, are we?
Of the year. Holy crap.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's basically in the running for my top 5 figures of the year, because basically that's one theme, that's one topic that's going to remain consistent throughout the show. At the end of every year, we do a top 5 figures of the year list.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, excuse me.
So, with that said, before we fully get into the topic, behind the scenes, a conversation was had between me and TFA. I agreed to allow him the floor for a couple minutes before we get started. TFA, are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
All right, everybody else, mute up, please. Give him the floor.
So, for those of you who are longtime viewers of BC's channel, you'll know him and I have had a history for quite some time. He's let me edit a few of his videos in the past. We had a very strong friendship for a while, but we've also locked horns a lot in the past. And my departure from the Scrapyard, or at least my temporary exile from the Scrapyard, forgive my wording, I'm not good at this, may have been probably the breaking point. And I felt as though my responses could have been a little bit more civil, but I was heavily triggered. And that does not give me an excuse to be an asshole to him, but to the viewers and to BC and the crew, I do sincerely apologize. And I do want to try to come back every so often, at least, because the last thing I want is bad blood or any issues or, anything like that. If anyone is not aware, I am neurodivergent. That means I have a brain that is not neurotypical. I could list off all the mental illnesses, but I don't want to go that far. But let me just say they are very aggressive. And that was just a big blow up on that episode. So for that, I sincerely apologize. And I thank BC and the crew for allowing me to come back in again and for not just, permanently casting me out. And I look forward to hopefully doing more episodes should I feel comfortable and should you and the fan base and everyone in the crew still wants me around.
All right.
Very well
How does
said.
everybody feel about what he said?
Like I said, it was very well put.
Well put, well articulated, to be honest. Got the point across.
It is very honorable.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of self-discovery and everything, given what this month means to me. Unfortunately, my mother passed away 3 years ago on March 19th, 2020. And after that happened, I just wanted to start learning more about my mental illnesses and such. So, I wanted to take initiative, and unfortunately, still grieving, but that was never meant to be personal. That whole outburst was never meant to make me look like I'm some sort of asshole or anything. That was just one of those moments where I got pushed a little too far, and that outcome happened. But again, I am sincerely sorry. I'm not that guy, never intentionally anyway.
Don't worry. And plus, I hear you on the case of your mom. It's coming up on 5 years with mine next month, so
It's just one of those things you just can't help but keep track of, even if you don't want to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But minimum.
So before we really start getting and really deep diving into deeper rooted personal issues, let's go ahead and move into the topic and really start sitting down and discussing like we normally do. And
Exactly.
what we're going to be discussing today mainly is the many positive things that Legacy has done for Transformers as a whole. Now, I don't know who here would want to start this off, but I will go ahead and simply state it as this is the toy line that some never wanted in the first place, but the brand needed.
Yeah.
Because this is a time where Transformers fans, honestly, are really getting some good stuff. we just saw TFA, via some pure luck, realistically. Well, okay, maybe not luck, but you get what I'm trying to say
I'm
here.
an addict by name and an addict by nature. But not.
That is really massive, though. Holy crap! I was thinking, like, isn't the original TFP? I'm forgetting the name. Dreadwing is it?
Sky
I was referring to Dreadwing. Is Dreadwing like? Isn't he like a deluxe? Like
No,
maybe
he's a Voyager.
No,
Voyager.
Voyager? Okay.
I can get this freaking thing to stand.
Anyway, so yeah, the Skyquake figure is really awesome looking, and as many people have already voiced their opinions about it, here the thing that is very good about this, and the reason why I want to shed a little bit of a positive light on this is this is a line that is meant to appreciate all corners of the fandom. That's what the end goal with it is.
Sorry, I'm still trying to.
So
You're fine.
So
That's
in,
okay, okay.
so in general, let me put it to you guys this way. For me, if this was the toy line we were getting around the time of Earthrise, I never would have walked away. And like that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Now,
Because I love. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut anybody off.
no. It's fine. It's fine.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because they could have just as easily chosen not to do any of these characters over and just completely move into, more G1. They could have just easily did that, and they're not. They're actually going above and beyond and giving us new characters. They're giving us characters from a universe that barely anybody remembers anymore. I mean, come on. We can all clearly tell the Skyquake down there is going to become Machine War Starscream. It's going to.
Or, if you're an oldie like me, Universe 06, King Atlas.
King Atlas.
Oh, 3,
Yeah.
but yes.
Oh, 03? My bad.
I can understand the first wave getting the bashing, I want to say it did, because they sort of G1ified, some of the core characters.
Such
And
as
I can understand, Bulkhead.
Oh.
Even
I
though
feel
it's
like-
supposed to be,
Sorry.
I was going to say, but Prime Bulkhead, they G1ified it, and I can understand it, but then the way I see it, that is the first wave issue, if you know what I mean. They put the first wave out, then they learn from what the feedback is from that initial wave. See how they can improve, where they can improve. Now, okay, we've got better figures, but again, I think the other point I brought up last time was the stuff regarding the quality control issues this line has had so far, especially with how bad Starsaber's been, other figures in the Legacy line. But I personally hope that Hasbro can slow down or at least fix some of the quality control issues we've had so far, because we are getting some great figures. I mean, I'm not denying that, and I really appreciate Hasbro dipping into other lines within the Transformers world. We've had the Unicron trilogy with it, had Prime, we've had all sorts, and I'm like Aladar would appreciate, the Unicron trilogy is finally getting some love. We've finally had some fantastic updates on characters like Metroplex, Hotshot, Starscream,
Scourge.
Scourge, exactly. And
Also,
I-
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah, don't get your hopes up about the QC because I had to do that.
Oh,
Is that
GX.
paint?
That is
That-
paint because that whole section and the back is now notoriously known for yellowing.
Thanks for the
Yeah.
heads up.
Thanks. Because I was tempted to get GXs because, he's an obscure G2 character that, a lot of people would not really know. But, I appreciate these characters are actually getting some love, but yeah, it really is QC that I think is putting the downer on Legacy as a whole at the moment.
The sad thing, too, about that is that they claim that they have had no plastic supplier change since Siege. Yet you can tell there is definitely some sort of shift in plastic quality because as soon as Earthspark arose, problems arose.
Yeah.
Or Earthrise, sorry. I got Earthspark on the brain.
I get what you mean. And I think a lot of people have also said it's because of the shift in change of factories from Vietnam to India and that as well.
Could be. But aren't we supposed to be focusing on more lighter areas?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I haven't said, the positives, the positives I've, mentioned, like some great characters, some great new sculpts. I can understand, like, Bulkhead getting a lot of because they more G1ified him. But again, a good figure.
While you do make a very fair and valid point on the Bulkhead, the proof is pretty much in the pudding because animated Prowl looks, aside from some blockiness, dead to rights to his original design.
Yeah,
With a slight touch of that little unused BotCon design.
that's what I mean. They've taken what they love. They've taken it. They've taken what we've said on board about the designs and gone, okay, so they didn't like it when we G1ified Bulkhead. So what we'll do is we'll take Skyquake, we'll make him look more like his animation model. We'll take Prowl, make him look more animated.
And at least with some older figures, such as up and coming Armada Prime, they're fixing some quality issues that existed beforehand and changed them all entirely, such as the
GPS.
just as GPS and electronics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully this Optimus Prime won't catch fire or transform in the middle of the night.
If it still does it, then I'm concerned that it's just a ghost.
While that's a fair point that they took care of those problems with the GPS and the motor catching on fire, most of the fun is gone.
The fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
It was a
fun.
different era. That
I
was-
mean, it sacrificed a motor for articulation. I think it's a good trade.
Yeah, to be fair, I'd rather...
Anyway.
to be honest, I'd rather have more articulation, than a motor that may or may not catch fire at 3 a.m.
Exactly.
I mean,
Now-
you're talking to a guy here who forced the trailer open. I didn't never use a motorized gimmick.
I still force it open too.
Yeah. I mean, I get where you're coming from, dude, because we're both Armada boys, but times change, things happen, money. Of course, it's money.
Mhm.
I mean,
I agree.
Because capitalism.
Anyways,
Well,
moving
will you
back
chill?
on to the more positive things.
Sorry.
As he stated, Unicron Trilogy is making a glorious comeback. And
Yeah.
just
Right.
right out the gate with the very first figure for UT, where it got a brand new mold and everything, was Starscream.
Speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil.
Speak of the angel. Sorry.
Fantastic figure. Across the board, an absolutely fantastic figure. And I have almost no issue with it. Like, yeah, there are some tolerance issues overall with the mold that does kind of bug me. But the fact that you cannot deny that is Armada Starscream, that speaks volumes to me.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't just sit there and completely retool a previous mold to try to get Armada Starscream out of it. They could have just as easily done that, and they didn't. So the fact that this was basically just the beginning. This was the starting point. Because immediately after he was revealed, the leak for Hotshot hit. Once again, all the speculation went down. As soon as it was revealed, it was almost dead to rights to his actual animation model. It's a little off. There are some things that aren't quite right. But let's face it, this is hands down the best Armada Hotshot we're ever going to get.
Yeah.
And then to top all that off, we now have Armada Prime coming.
And Armada Megatron.
And
Eventually,
we've
Marma,
already
yeah.
and we've already had Metroplex.
And Override.
Yeah, so for Unicron Trilogy fans, y'all are eating good right now.
Now all we need is Overload and Jetfire.
Tidal Wave.
What about Tidal Wave?
He's saying, yeah,
I think personally that they're heading in the right direction using backwards compatibility with Overload on Armada Prime.
Yep.
That's
Also-
unheard of.
Also, I like the fact that they also improved on Starscream because Starscream, even though he's got some great gimmicks and he comes with the Star Saber, there's no swindle and there's no port for swindle. But Nitro Convoy has the slot for a Galaxy Key.
Yeah.
And you can actually put the I know it doesn't activate any gimmicks like it did in the original toy, but the fact we can actually put a Cyber Planet key into, Speed Planet, Nitro Convoy, and we're getting there. We are getting there.
It's more than you can do with Plexi.
You know what I think they should do in terms of another character they can probably make eventually, in hopes of it.
What?
I want them to make Smokescreen,
Armada Smokescreen?
and because I know they're probably going to do it anyway, and there's no point on asking for it. More than likely, says Smokescreen and had the same gimmick of I'm the one that throws you the minicon stuff. I want them to put Smokescreen and Hoist, or if they ever make a Hoist. I want them to have that gimmick of they can hold and launch the shield and sword. Because that was what Smokescreen's main role gimmick was. He was the one that launches the freaking stuff so that the others can use it.
Well, for a polite correction, it was mainly just the Skyboom shield.
Okay,
He
I have
He never did
I was going to say, I have a question for you guys.
Mm.
Now, and this is going to be positive. What would you guys say to an Energon kicker and high wire twin pack?
No,
Like they did in the back of the day.
no.
No, you're better off just getting the old one. Better yet, don't.
But yeah, why'd you even ask?
I just thought, with the 3 3/4 inch retro style figures being quite popular right now. Now, especially through the likes of like the Marvel Legends retro, Star Wars retro, Super 7, Super 7's reaction line. I figured, hey, what if they went that route and, did the kicker and high wire twin pack.
Well, I mean, I could have sworn I recall Smoke Screen / Hoist having a moment where he threw the sword at someone. I recall. Anyway, besides what, I want him to have the main gimmick of basically having the obviously the fully molded Sky Boom shield, because more than likely they're not going to make a minicon. We're at this point where like we know they're not going to make one.
Yeah,
So
it would be nice. It would be nice. It would be nice. The other thing I was thinking is Armada Scavenger with the cloak accessory.
That'd be cool.
It would have been cool if we had the cloak, but
Now,
you want whoever was going before me? I can wait.
now,
That was
You go.
one thing I wanted to bring up real quick, because I wanted to ask this question. Where do you guys stand on what size class Tidal Wave should be? You can't say both.
that's all I'm ever gonna say.
Then you stay quiet, because you need to play along.
honestly,
Between, the size classes that we are going to throw into this is Leader and Titan.
Personally, I would say Titan. Simply down to the fact we've had deluxe class figures before, we've had repaints of other figures, like Titan's Return, the San Diego Comic-Con, I think it was, repaint of Titan's Return Broadside.
No, correction. That was actually the Titans Return Siege on Cybertron 5-pack from BBTS, and I actually
that was it.
Right here.
Yeah, now that I'm not saying that was a bad figure. It's a good figure for a repaint. I think the only way you could do the entire Dark Fleet any justice, it would be a Titan class figure. And especially, and I think some of you might agree with me on this. You've played the PlayStation game, haven't you? The
Yes.
Armada one. You know how massive Tidal Wave is in his boss battle.
He's also
Now-
pretty massive in Armada too, but then they made him smaller for reasons.
I think, given the fact he's supposed to be, multiple, an aircraft carrier, battleship, and all that combined into one, Titan.
Going off of the cartoon will help no one. So, in this particular regard, what I say is realistically, it all depends on what functionality you want.
Hmm.
Do you want it to combine with the Leader Megatron, or do you want it to have the 3 ship modes?
I personally would prefer the 3 ship modes becoming the giant robot.
I'm right there with you, Woody. I would rather have those 3 ships that can interact with all those core class figures, because that makes him that much more playable in comparison to shrinking him down to be the same size class as the Megatron and putting all of his engineering into one gimmick.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Megatron armor was kind of cool, but this is just my personal experience, and again, it's not based on any statistical fact. Is most people I knew who had Tidal Wave back in the day never really used him as the armor mode for Megatron. It was either the ship mode or the robot.
Yeah, because even with how Takara handles things, even they straight up flat out sat there and went, this was kind of an afterthought.
But
And like, okay, look, I'm not dinging the combined form. I have a little bit of a personal attachment to it myself, but I'm looking at it from the standpoint of if, like, in my eyes, my perfect tidal wave is a Titan class one.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather have a massive tidal wave that can either be a giant battleship or 3 separate ships that either mode he's in, all of my core class figures interact with the ships in different ways. I would much rather that.
In my opinion, because more than likely, this I would think honestly, leader size. Reasoning on why is because if they're going to chip, like, to make a comparison, if they're going to cheat us of the minicon thing by give Optimus Prime his overload backwards compatibility, I feel like they're going to cheat Tidal Wave of his 3 ship mode and make it the combined with the Megatron part because of that. Because if they're not going to make minicons, why would they make the 3 ship form?
Because the core class figures can interact with them.
And they're still selling Micromasters.
Though I guess it still depends if Megatron is able to get his. Well, for the combined mode, he's supposed to get his turret in front of him, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess it all depends if Megatron can rotate his turret into his front for the Legacy Armada Megs. If he can't do that, then I think we know our answer on that one.
Then okay, so you're basically saying you would rather it be the leader.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair point. Fair comment. Fair comment.
So that being said, to bounce off of that, I'm a little bit more okay with having discussions like this where we are kind of quote unquote teasing each other. And the reason why I'm okay with this now is because Legacy made this a reality.
Mm-hmm.
We can have these discussions now. We can sit around and talk about this now. And now it's not just all of us wishing on a hope and a prayer anymore. Like, there's deep-rooted evidence to back this up now. And Legacy made that happen, which is where we're getting into my area.
Oh, wait. Before GPT, I don't think we heard it. TFA, what's your thought on Tidal Wave? Leader class or Titan? Leader or Titan?
I'm so sorry, dude. Go ahead.
Actually, I was going to go out of the box and say Commander class.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Because then he can still utilize pretty much all the features that he had in his regular toy. He could still be about the size of a leader. He could still probably even a little bit bigger. We got Armada Prime to prove it. So, if they did a Commander class Tidal Wave, then they could still do the Dark Fleet. He could still become the battleship, and he could still combine with Armada Megatron. It wouldn't be any different than his Armada release.
I was gonna say that is it. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. Fair. I'll give you that.
Also, if they do
that is up there.
If they do the Commander class, think of all the future teasers for Armada that they'll have on the box.
He's got it. He's nailed it right there.
And further to point that out, and to just sort of very much touch on this slightly, because we are talking about legacy and potentialities and everything.
Everyone.
Oh, I'm not done. I'm on a roll right now. You've unlocked the Armada addict.
Oh, you're getting a round of applause for your.
He's not done though. Hold on. Let me continue.
Before I finish my little passionate-filled tangent, my passion, if I will. If they do future teases on that box art, I guarantee you, Point Blank's going to end up being Blur.
He does have that Blur look. The only thing he needs is that triangle backpack thing, I guess.
Flip them around, rotate the head, rotate the legs, and they could just do a Blur that way.
Well, now, hold on. hold up. What if that mold was always intended to be Armada Blur, but Point Blank was the afterthought? But since they really weren't sure how the Armada stuff was going to sell out, they decided to hop on that to test the water and release it as the Point Blank first. See how everybody's taking it, and
Well,
right
to
when
be
the
honest-
Armada, it's kind of like what happened with Kingdom. They didn't know how people were going to react to the Armada stuff, and since everybody is literally head over heels about it, I can see that happening now. Because,
The
like,
thing
look,
is-
let's face it, that Point Blank. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a really cool looking Point Blank, but it doesn't look like Point Blank to me. It always looked like Armada Blur to me.
Now, the other thing as well, and we've also got evidence to back this up from Hasbro, every line and wave always has a pre-tool in there somewhere.
Titans Return
Question.
proved that with Optimus, Megatron, Octane, and Blitzwing.
Question. Can Point Blank do the flying car?
No, but
You
I
can't-
guarantee you they could retool the legs and somehow make it work. Or, obviously, third-party upgrade kit.
Yep. There'll be some way they'll retool it into Blur to make it work rather than just a straight-up repaint.
Let BC talk.
I think the only part of Point Blank that's going to make it into Blur is the arms.
Yeah.
I think that's the only part of them that's going to make it in. Everything else is going to be new. Which, if that's the case, shush and listen to me for 2 seconds. If that is the case, that is a smart-ass way of doing a retool. Where you take only specific limbs of a specific figure and then redesign the rest. Because the way, like, okay, hold on. TV, I got to zoom in on you real quick.
Okay.
Like, getting a look at Point Blank here. If you just twist him around at the waist. Like, can he do a full 360 in his waist?
Hang on, I haven't done this in a while. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, then if you can turn that fully around to where we basically get only a look at the back.
Yep.
So flip his head around too. It's basically there. It's right there.
Yeah, you've got it right there.
Yeah, you can even see it in the torso right there. That looks like Blur's torso. The shoulders even have all the little inner details of Blur.
The arm transformation is exactly the same as Blur, too.
It's a pre-tool. What they've done is Point Blank is the pre-tool.
Basically, like, this is basically almost the exact reverse of what we've been getting, where they would utilize a randomized character from a different universe to be the existing pre-tool to the inevitable more G1-y or more recognizable character.
So in a sense, you're saying Point Blank is basically a prototype.
Kind of.
The best way to put it is think of Titan's Return when they gave us the G2 Action Master Optimus tanker jet truck thing and the Megatron that turned into a jet and a tank. And then they ended up doing Blitzwing and Octane later. They wanted to test those molds first.
Yeah, and in this particular regard, they're giving the lion's share of the mold to the character that matters more. In this case, sorry, G1 fans, but no one gives a shit about Point Blank. You want to know who we care about? We care about Blur.
Well, to be fair, he is one of the more obscure later 80s G1 characters. I mean, he only ever really appeared cartoon-wise in, Rebirth Parts 1, 2, and 3, the Headmaster's cartoon, and the comics.
Okay, that ultimately, at the end of the day, really looking at the way this point blank looks, like I even have this shot pulled up on my TV and paused.
There you go. Look at
Like,
Aladar.
It's basically almost 100% dead to rights.
It's night and day.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's
So-
just up to Hashtag to want to do something with it. And considering how well Armada's been selling to the point where we're now getting Commander Optimus and Leader Megatron, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more in the future.
Aren't we also in an anniversary era of the Unicron trilogy?
Yes.
Well, Armada, it turned 20 last year.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. We're in the
So basically, after 20 years of this show basically getting next to no love, look at how much we're getting now.
yeah.
UT fans, y'all need to be happy here. Like, honestly, to the point of y'all need to be ecstatic. Because you guys are getting your time in the sun.
Long overdue, too. We've only had
Long-
it sprinkled in every so often. I mean, Thrilling 30's Starscream, Combiner Wars, Armada, Megatron, Universe Hotshot.
Titans Return tidal wave.
Yeah. Like, that's
Let's-
literally the best we've been getting.
Let's allow BC to speak his piece on his particular area of desire.
My bad.
Okay, so I need the floor.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Mute up, everyone.
So we all know who my boy is, right? Right? So when Legacy first hit, actually, no, take that back. Before Legacy hit, one of my dream figures that I knew Hasbro would never do was a more modernized version of Lyle Convoy. That's my boy. Therefore, that's the one figure that if I wanted it badly enough, I would probably have to turn to a third party to get it. Well, clearly enough, the Fates had a different idea. When Legacy first launched and showed me G2 Prime as a what you call it, somebody
Do you
help me
need
here.
help? What are you trying to think?
Black Convoy.
No, the Laser Light Prime was kind of the first real clue towards what I was trying to get at, because I was, let's just say I was burned out very quickly after Siege, and I refused to go after any other mainline toys. Well, Legacy comes around, and now all of a sudden I'm more tempted than usual. Let that sink in. So I'm sitting here like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and say it. Hasbro, I would like a new Lyle Convoy. Not only did I get my Lyle Convoy, I'm getting a copy convoy, and I'm getting a Tasmanian Kid. I said, give me Lyle Convoy. Hasbro responds with, would you rather have Beast Wars second? So, at this point, this just goes to show that even any character from the Japanese continuity of any type is allowed to step into the limelight here. For instance, Metal Hawk. Is he a retool of Cyclonus? Yes. Do I think he wears it? Honestly, I think he wears it better. And with that said, for those of you who know, like if you know kind of thing. The Pretenders, the three we got, They were Japanese continuity. At least I believe Iguanus was in the show, in one of the Japanese shows. I believe he was. Don't quote me on that one. But, okay, so Bombers and Skullgrin, I know for a fact they were in Super God Master Force, but I don't think Iguanus was.
No, it was Submarauder.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, with all that being stated, Bombers and Skullgrin, those two were actually in Super God Master Force. They happened in Legacy, and they're pretty great, all things considered. Point Blank, even though we already had that whole tangent where it's painfully obvious he's the pre-tool for Armada Blur. And, like, I wholeheartedly am convinced on it now. Like, wholeheartedly convinced. And at that point, I'm not going to go into it right now, but basically, it's nice to see that a lot of characters and figures are coming out to go with that victory saber. It makes me very happy to see it. So, at the end of the day, one of my favorite things about Legacy as a whole is literally all bets are off. Like, there's no reasoning for why this character or this character or this character can't get a new toy anymore. Like, just we're past that now. We are now entering a stage with this toy line where anything can happen. Where anyone can get a new toy. Anyone under the sun has an opportunity to see the light of day again. And if that is exactly the case, I want a Signal Lancer.
Right up there with you. Not what I thought you were going to say anything on, but I'm right up there with you on Signal Lancer. He needs to happen.
I have a theory now, because as we were talking about all that, and I was digging around a little bit in the background. If that's the case, I know who. I don't know who, but I'm saying who. I think I know who they might be doing next. Honestly, pretty soon.
Who?
Red Alert, retooled from Knockout. Knockout has the Legacy Knockout has the chest, same size proportion of Armada Red Alert.
I see where you're trying to go with this, but you picked the wrong mold.
It's the only mold in Legacy that has the giant thing.
Hang on, Alex. Hang on. You are trying to force a car to be a truck.
Well, I mean, taking inspiration of what you just...
Savage, can I just say, ROTB Battle Trap could be retooled more into Red Alert than Knockout.
That's kind of a big stretch there.
Okay,
but
to be
it's
fair,
still the fact. It's still the fact that ROTB Knockout, ROTB Battle Trap. Sorry.
We were talking about how basically before we were saying that turn him around and he looks like Blur. BC was just saying take off the arms and then retool the rest of the body. If they did the same thing with Knockout of what he just said, that would be how.
Yeah, but you also got to keep in mind, though, Armada Red Alert's design is also extremely unique for what he is.
He's bulky. Like, give me a second.
I know. And the way I'm thinking is just like, okay, you're going to take Knockout's chest, redo all the arms and legs, and, obviously that'll be what part of the retool will be.
So basically, you're saying it would be a reskin, not a retool.
I don't think so, because like
That's kind of sort of what you're describing in a sense, because Red Alert has a very specific body type, and trying to kind of do that with Knockout wouldn't really work with him. Not to say I'm putting down the idea. I can kind of see it in my head. But if you want a better candidate, and as much as I kind of genuinely hate this mold, at least what they did in Wave 4, Crankcase.
Yes. I see it now, actually.
Because they took that guy, they took Skids, then they made Burnout, then they made Crankcase, and they turned him from a little compact van into like a little battle van, like Jeep type vehicle. And then they did, well, we got teased that we're getting a Rescue Bots medics, and then we're getting Crosscut. I could easily see them find a way to retool that more into Red Alert, because then all they would have to do is find a way to make the doors, like, instead of being flat or fold out of against his back or something, put it on a rotator joint and have them be flat but vertical. Or
So that the doors become the shoulder.
And the chest of the hood of the car and everything can still remain the front of his chest.
Oh my God! Yeah, I think he's onto something there.
The transformation will be exactly the same. He has the same leg kibble. The only difference is the wheels will be on the bottom of the feet.
See, now here's the thing. What I would want personally for Red Alert specifically, I would rather he be a Voyager, because that would guarantee he gets a new mold.
Yeah.
Because at that point, we don't have any Voyager molds that would allow for that to happen.
Yep.
Where they can't just pick a motherfucker out of the plethora of different characters they have and just immediately go, okay, turn it into a truck. Like, no, at that point, they have to do a whole new figure.
I mean, if they did Hotshot, they'd have, and give him a brand new mold. This ain't from anything else. This is completely brand new. And if they did it that route, then easy Power Links repaint.
Yeah. The repaint potential alone with these UT figures, just the hot shot alone. I can easily, like, we already have the standard yellow version. That one is already very much in circulation. We already have that. I can easily see a Gen Selects Power Links hot shot.
Or some bullshit exclusive.
And
sorry.
I can very easily see, and for those of you who know, like it's one of those if you know situations. Universe Smokescreen.
Holy crap.
3 repaints out of that mold, and they're already making their money back on it.
Because honestly, they have been going back and redoing concepts they never got to bring to life before, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah,
and this is the perfect opportunity, because guess what? Toxitron. A listing for him was found. Toxitron's coming.
Yep.
Like that was an old universe concept that we never saw. So guess what? If they do a new Robots in Disguise Prime, peace. If they do a new Robots in Disguise Prime, they can turn that into Hotspot. And the super mode would be defense mode.
And base it off of a titanium toy.
The RID stuff was where I thought you were going to start talking when I said let BC talk his piece on things.
Oh.
See, here's the thing. I want the Armada stuff to succeed first, because I want Armada to be the one that lays the groundwork. That gives everyone the fucking wake-up call they need.
Yep.
Please.
Exactly.
I want them to do the entire cast. Can you imagine some of the figures that we got from that time period that could use an update that have yet to get an update? And yet we were teased several times through the last decade worth of Transformers. Remember that whole Combiner Wars Demolisher thing that was supposed to happen?
And it
Yeah.
never
Saw
did.
the prototype. Yeah, there was an Armada Demolisher head prototype on Onslaught.
What the fuck? Why is this the first I'm hearing of this?
Because to be fair, the way you are, we would have told you about it. You would have been like, "Yeah."
And it looked surprisingly good, but obviously they did Onslaught because, of course.
Combaticons.
But I want to see like some really old shit figures get some major love. I want to see a new Sideswipe. I'll be the one to fucking say it. I want to see a new Sideswipe.
I'm right up there with you. Now, let me speak my piece on something.
Sorry.
Specifically that Demolisher. I despise to my core what they're doing with the Prime and the animated stuff aesthetically. I'm glad they're getting the love, but I despise what they're doing aesthetically. That being said, hearing about that Demolisher, despite my disdain for that whole idea, that still sounds like something that would have been cool to see.
So you're going to choose hypocrisy yet again. Like, look, I'm just doing my job and calling it as I see it.
Let's be real. Every human being on this planet could be a hypocrite at some point or another.
Would you rather I'm saying bring back the gimmicks or shut down the line?
Here's what I'd rather you start doing right now. Anyways,
Oh.
with that said, where the hell was I going?
You were going somewhere.
I don't know. His
Something
train
about
budget.
Armada wanting to succeed.
Yes.
I want Armada to succeed because it's laying the groundwork for everything I want Hasbro to do. But of course, I am his polar opposite. I can't stand gimmicks. I don't like them. They never last. Something always goes wrong with the springs. The missile launchers always jam up. Something always happens to a spring-loaded gimmick. It's inevitable. It does not matter how well you take care of the toys. That spring-loaded gimmick will give out one day. So the way I look at it, these are the figures that as they come out, we're getting those figures if they didn't have the gimmicks in them. How good they could have been if Takara was not forced to put a gimmick in them. Even Takara themselves, during the time of Armada, made it abundantly clear they hated the fact that they were forced to put the gimmicks in them. So imagine how ecstatic they were when they got the opportunity to do new toys and they didn't have to jam a fucking gimmick in them. Case in the exact line I'm talking about, it's a line that everyone in here universally loves. Classics. They love doing those toys. They brought their fucking A game with those. And when Hasbro got a hold of some of the samples and really flipped them around and really got to know the figures and went, these are fantastic. How did you guys get these to look to be so good? Takara's literal response was, you didn't force us to put gimmicks in them. I understand that there are some people that genuinely love gimmicks, and I'm not saying you have to change your entire way of life. All I'm saying is I think that it's time to start coming to an understanding for the people who genuinely despise them. I don't like gimmicks. Not because I think they're dumb. I don't like gimmicks because they never last. That's why I like more articulation. That's why I prefer a more accurate design. Because if it's foregoing the gimmick, it allows it to last as a toy. I'm not saying every single toy is this way. I'm not saying that at all. But let's be real. Eventually, that ass clip on the original Armada Hotshot is going to give out. And you're never going to be able to fold that thing back in place. It's never going to work for you ever again. I do not wish to see any more toys as a whole be forced to have a spring-loaded gimmicks that it did not need. So therefore, as much as I may not like Armada Sideswipe, a lot of my disdain towards that character is not just because of the fact that in the show he aggravated the shit out of me,
Same.
but the toy itself was garbage. That garbage toy now has a chance to be awesome. Whether the gimmicks are in there or not should not matter. It's still a toy at the end of the day. That's why that's the only thing I'm going to be preaching here. Gimmicks aren't all bad, but the moment a gimmick is shoehorned in, you basically chose death for the toy.
Hey, ask something.
Hmm.
It's on topic. I want to kind of pick your brain here for a minute, BC. So when you say gimmicks, do you just mean intrusive gimmicks?
Yes, I mainly mean intrusive gimmicks.
Okay, because it's like if you were talking about gimmicks as a whole, then how would you feel, or what is your take on like the whole Evo fusion or weaponizer, modulator, fossilizer stuff?
That's fine. That is perfectly fine. The reason why I'm okay with those is entirely because those are gimmicks that do not require a spring.
Got it.
My main issue with gimmicks is when they're spring loaded, which is super funny because I'm about to sound like a major fucking hypocrite here. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this hit now. One of my favorite times in Transformers was Automorph. The Automorph gimmick is one of the coolest gimmicks I've ever fucking seen because of the fact that you transform one piece and 3 other parts are transforming at the same time. And most of these, spring-loaded. So yes, even I will admit, there are some spring-loaded gimmicks I genuinely enjoy. Here's the key difference. The Automorph gimmicks were not intrusive. The Automorph gimmicks actually stood the test of time depending on what figure you bought. They were not forced to have an intrusive gimmick that required some other collectible gimmick to activate. You could just activate the gimmick just by playing with the fucking toy. I'm more okay with that than I am with plug this into X, slide up, activate spring to flip this up, pull
That
back
sounds very
down,
wrong out of
twist around.
context.
You get my point. Those are the kind of gimmicks I cannot fucking stand.
Like the Minicon gimmicks and Cyber Key gimmicks.
See, Cyber Key gimmicks, that's another area where I'm kind of caught off guard because, yeah, those are a lot of spring-loaded gimmicks, but that was a time where Takara figured it out. They were able to work the gimmick into the toys and still have the toys be functional. It was astonishing to see how they all worked.
So another type of spring type gimmick that you would basically disdain is like the mech tech stuff.
I have a different issue with those, but we're not going to get into it. Like, honestly, Mech Tech as a whole, I feel deserves an episode of its own.
Okay.
In fact, you know what? Fuck it. I'm decreeing it right now. Next week's episode, gimmicks.
I was actually
Cool.
going to suggest that too.
Next week. So you don't have to ask the question this week. You don't.
God damn it! You took something off me.
You took his job.
You took our jabs.
Anyway, so the point is, I do have my issues with gimmicks, but even I'm not calling for gimmicks to be completely omitted. I get that sometimes a gimmick helps a toy. Because let's face it, a lot of the toys that we get nowadays, I would have loved to see a flip-out cannon or two. We didn't get it. but I'd have liked to see it. It'd have been cool. I'm not going to sit here and get all butthurt and bent out of shape over it, but my point ultimately is a spring-loaded gimmick should not take up the entire toy. It shouldn't. And the fact that literally almost all of Armada did exactly that, that's why I have such a disdain for the original Armada toys. It's not because of the fact that they're gimmicky. It's because the gimmicks are intrusive and take away the one aspect about Transformers I love the most. The ability to make them do cool things. They can't do that. Especially when literally the year prior, the gimmick was they transformed, they posed. Were there a couple firing missiles sprinkled along in there? Yeah. But for any of you that will sit there and argue me and say, my argument towards Armada is completely invalid. You can't think of a better toy than what Armada Prime does. I'm going to give you guys 4 words. Robots in disguise Megatron. All he had to do was transform into multiple different things, and he was an amazing figure. By the way, Legacy, please.
Another thing you're kind of missing in RID that was pretty fun was when they had electronics on them.
Yeah, but barely anything really had electronics in RID, to where the electronics took up most of Armada.
Yeah, it was mostly just Prime and Magnus, wasn't it?
It was Prime, Magnus.
Because Scourge never had any electronics.
No, yeah, I just realized that Scourge never had the light of fist gimmick.
That was on the G2 Prime only.
Yeah, that was G2 Prime only.
Does Fort Max have any gimmicks?
Fort Max never came out in the States. We're not going to talk about that because that still to this day enrages me.
Okay, I was just asking. I didn't know if you even had electronics. That's all I was going to ask.
Megs didn't have any?
No. Megs didn't have any electronic gimmicks.
He was just a straight-up repaint of the original 1987 Fort Max.
Yep.
So that being said, that's another thing that's sorely missing, and
No, it
I
isn't.
can see why. The only thing I'm going to really put out is I'm happy for everyone that is getting their articulation that they want, but for me, it's starting to feel tiresome and samey.
See, that's a much better way to put it. You know, give him a round of applause. He showed some growth.
That's why I'm clamoring for spring-loaded stuff to come back to some degree. It will feel different and not so samey. Even if it's just a mech tech weapon.
But the thing is, you got to remember, most people collecting mainline Transformers are adult collectors. We don't want spring-loaded gimmicks.
No, if it's going to be spring-loaded, it's going to be aimed towards the kids' line.
See, the way he just put it right there, I'm good with that. If it's a toy line that's not specifically geared to me, I'm cool with the gimmicks being everywhere. Because at that point, the gimmicks are going to stay the fuck out of my toys.
That's not to say I'm not on the same boat as Aladar, because I mean, I too would like to see that, just to kind of relive that little portion of my childhood. But we're also talking about a literal generational shift, or rather rift in this case. Like, of course, we're going to want the things that we grew up with to be exactly the same as they were, but unfortunately, time is a thing that happens. And yes, while nostalgia is basically selling like hotcakes, it's not going to be one-to-one anymore. They'll cater to us, but they're not going to give us the exact thing that we want, the way that we want it made.
Allow me to at least piggyback off of that a little bit,
Yeah, go ahead.
trying to word it the best way I can. You're right that it's not going to be 1-to-1 anymore because times have changed. Times are really stupid. But one case of chasing 1-to-1 where I'm never going to stop saying it's ridiculous to do, and you might as well just stop, is chasing 1-to-1 screen accuracy, unless you're getting a Gundam kit or the high-end stuff.
Well, they're still sort of doing that too because we still have the kids line stuff that's mainly toward like a great example right now, slightly off topic, but still Transformers, obviously. Rise of the Beasts. They're still doing the kid-related toy line, and then they're still giving us the studio series, like almost 1-to-1 accuracy that we're getting, or at least a concept version of that. This is sort of a similar case with Legacy. Because if you wanted it to be 1-to-1, I mean, let's be real. If we wanted it to be exactly the way it is, would you rather have this? Or would you rather have this?
My Perfect Armada Hotshot is a happy blend of the two, but that's neither here nor there. The thing I'm trying to say is, if you're going to have to, at least aesthetics-wise, 1-to-1 translate something, but update it slightly, go for the toys, because those are far more consistent than the on-screen models 9 times out of 10.
For the record, the one on the right.
I think the next one they should do, in terms of what BC said, some spring limit gimmicks okay, but in case of him, I'm okay if they remove the spring gimmick because it's basically pointless in Demolisher's arm.
Yeah.
Like, why do it on one side but then not do it on the other? What's the point?
That always bugged the crap out of me.
I heard on an interview with Aaron Archer that they actually meant to do it on both sides, but they ran out of the parts budget.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Either way, they may as well, if they manage to do this, please, they may as well just take all that out and
There's
maybe fold that up a little.
Since we know they're going to take that out, there's one thing from the toy version of Demolisher that I'm going to ask that they keep. I'm going to show you guys real quick.
I think I already know what you're talking about, but I'm not going to say anything.
The mini con launcher.
Just give me a second to hook back up.
I'm thinking something else.
Now, much to my rampant annoyance, we know they're also going to leave out the mini cons. So ignore Blackout. Bring this back.
Yep.
Third mode.
Yeah, trigger mode.
Antiquated third modes.
Like, it's really stupid.
Third mode. I think he's just. Sorry, I was just going to say, I think you're talking about the little seat.
No. What I'm saying is, like, with how things are right now, we could have core class figures mounted on this anti-aircraft thing that he's supposed to be. So bring this back.
Also, you educated me on the thing because I didn't know that was a mode.
Yeah, what do you think I'm doing right now? What do you think I'm doing right now? Like, hold on, what?
I didn't know that was a mode. The same thing like you told me with Armada Thrust.
What the hell did I tell you about Thrust?
No, not Thrust. Sorry, Cyclonus.
What did I tell you about Cyclonus?
The propeller?
Oh, yeah, the propeller and the thruster. I've educated you quite a bit then, haven't I?
Yeah, I didn't even know about that stuff. But then again, I was a stupid kid.
That's a scary sentence, just saying.
I know, right? I call myself.
Wait, I was going to say, Aladar was the smarter of the two?
Yeah, that's what I meant by the scary part of that sentence.
You out Armada addict, the Armada addict.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I do.
What you want to do is
Good job,
make
Woody.
it look like that. If you can tell.
I think I got it. Obviously, I don't have the Minicon, so I can't do that.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
guys, we have basically reached after party stage because let's face it, at this point, we have already pretty much exhausted as much of this topic as we could talk about. We've hit all the key points that we felt were really important.
We got a finger.
I got.
Oh,
I actually, if I may, as a guest,
Yes.
because I am not worthy. I have one thing I want to say about Legacy,
Go on.
and to just capitalize on that, why tell when I can show? This is the sole reason this line is fantastic.
Tarn.
Now all we need is
This
nickel.
was a reach that Hasbro and Takara did not have to do, but they absolutely went above and beyond to not only respect Alex Milne's design for IDW Tarn, they made it a reality. We are at possibly the peak of a new renaissance of Transformers, if I may be so bold to say so, because we have been getting fed, not just with Armada, but with pseudo accuracy ranging from Legacy all the way to Studio Series. I mean, Generation Selects going and doing like canceled stuff. Sorry, this freaking thing will not work with me tonight.
Anyway,
I think it's as good as it's gonna get.
canceled stuff you were on.
To what?
I was
Canceled.
reminding you where you were.
Oh, thank you. I just want this to. Okay.
So
I want to
again-
touch it. Anyway,
Canceled things.
they're not only like catering to just one demographic of fans, they're catering to everyone, like we've said throughout this entire stream. I mean, here I am with my goal. Like I said it on my channel numerous times. I'll say it here. I am basically gay for IDW Tarn. I love this character so much, and they found a way to make it work so well. Plus, future Bludgeon retool. That might happen. But like catering to not just them, but generations of fans from IDW to Armada.
Cybertron.
Sorry, BC. To literally even G2 and Transformers Prime with Skyquake. They're doing remotely anything and everything possible under the sun, to the point where now getting a Titan class Guardian robot.
Yep. Before we go into the after party, I just have one final question. And we'll go through it in turn. Okay. What would be your dream one figure, right? Can be any size class, from a generation they have not covered yet. That's the only stipulation.
Then
Does
I
that
can't
include or
answer that.
exclude- Does that include or exclude exclusive?
Include. You can say, I want a SDCC, Energon Black Zarek.
Okay, let me rephrase. Does that include crowdfunded or not crowdfunded?
Like, does it include HasLab, basically?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you can. So,
If we are including HasLab, I have a sinking feeling I'm about to lose a lot of credibility here, so just hear me out. For a HasLab project, I want it to be Robots in Disguise Omega Prime.
okay, that's
I can see
where
that.
I can see that. Okay,
And the reason why I want it to be him specifically is entirely because of the fact that since they cannot release this at retail, so basically, if they can't release it at retail, that means they cannot cut corners. They would absolutely have to do it right the first time, which means they cannot screw this up at all. Because If they do, they will never recover from that.
Okay.
Because sales-wise, that will never, ever, ever, ever give Robots in Disguise fans a chance to see their favorite characters in the limelight again. I have
Okay.
my issues with the tow line, but that is neither here nor there. I think the head of him looks great. It's just,
The rest of them.
let me put it to you guys this way. He pissed, moaned, cried, and complained. And now he's getting his UT. Happier than a pig in shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was nice. I was kind. I was considerate. I got to repaint. No, I'm not bitter.
So, next.
Anyways, the reason why I want RID Omega Prime to be a HasLab project is because at the HasLab crowdfunding potential, if they put stretch goals in there that gives you multiple different accessories and shit, I think Omega Prime would benefit from this because that's that much more effort they need to put in if they make him the HasLab project.
Yeah.
That being said, as much as I desperately want it to be Omega Prime, can't happen. Because they already made it abundantly clear. Optimus Prime characters will never be a HasLab project because he's the flagship. His name makes money.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, the moment they choose to do an RID Omega Prime as a HasLab, they're breaking that rule.
Yeah.
At that point, they're doing something far more scummy by taking their flagship character and locking him behind a HasLab project. That does not sit right with me. I would rather see it happen to make sure it's done right the first time. But if HasLab absolutely could not be an option, then my choice for, once again, I'm sticking with Omega Prime on this. Spread it out between 2 releases. Give me 2 Commander class Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime and Robots in Disguise Ultra Magnus. We get 1 Commander class a year, correct?
Yeah, roughly.
Therefore, Robots in Disguise Prime 1 year, Robots in Disguise Magnus next year. Slam them all together. You have your legacy RID Omega Prime.
Fair. Okay.
So
Paladar.
He wasn't done.
Sorry.
So what I was initially going to say before I got cut off was, that's my tangent. What else? Go ahead and surprise me, y'all. I really now want to hear what the answer is to this question that was brought on by Solo.
Aladar, what would you pick?
I can't technically answer this question
Why?
because my answer is something that is technically already being done, but I want it done a specific way because of past problems with the first attempt.
I think I know where you're
AKA, he's being very difficult.
No, it's
Okay.
literally the only thing that comes to mind.
Well, could you share anyway for those of us who are curious?
Yeah, for curiosity's sake, fill us in.
I'm excited for the possibility of Machine Wars Starscream and King Atlas from Universe 03, but give us a proper update that actually looks like the designs for Dreadwing and Skyquake because those old figures have fragility issues, and we know we need those actual designs updated to the letter so that they don't have that problem.
Okay.
You're talking about the OG Skyquake and Dreadwing?
Yes, BC had both of them, and the Skyquake exploded. I have his Dreadwing right now, and I hardly mess with him because I don't want him to explode.
When you say
That
explode,
design.
are you referring to... Sorry.
That design, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. It's simple. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut off.
That design is the only one where I'm going to say firmly 1-to-1 aesthetic translation, give it to us and do it right so we don't have to deal with that problem if we don't want the Generation 1-ified ones. We have to deal with the exploding ones. So, like, where is that a fair deal?
That's
Okay,
fair.
so-
I'm not going to give him any shit for that. That's fair.
So when
That
Okay.
is 1,000% fair. I see where he's coming from there.
Savage?
Let
So
him-
we're all talking.
type what you're trying to ask me in the chat and I'll handle it there. But
Okay, my bad.
Sorry.
I can speak now.
yes,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So you're saying you want to be? I made this thought. I was thinking this hard, honestly, because there's two lines that come to mind. But you know what? I went back to the route of where was I the most? We're all picking shows. RID, Armada, Energon, Cybertron, Prime, Animated, whatever, blah blah blah. Let me throw you back into a year of what was this? 2012. This was a hot game during 2012. Almost everyone we knew about pretty much had this game, and it did have a toy line. So you know what? Give us a character from Fall of Cybertron.
Ooh.
that would be nice.
Those toys, I do believe require an update. Hell,
They do.
I have a Skywarp. I think he needs an update badly.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that
I
was deluxe.
mean,
Sorry.
it was deluxe. So if anything, if I had to pick a specific character to say make an update on, pick Prime for all we know. Give him up some love.
Yeah, that deluxe Prime makes him look like he's anorexic.
Yeah.
We're not making fun of people that deal with that.
No, never. I'm just saying it makes him look way too skinny. He needs some beef.
So yeah, no,
BC,
that's just
I'm just saying BC, check my answer. But continue.
but yeah, just no.
Okay. I was going to say, if we're done, TFA, you. What would your pick be?
See, you're talking to the TF addict because I love everything aside from
Yep.
that which shall not be named. But I grew up in multiple generations. What
Kiss players.
we don't talk about.
Kiss players is forbidden.
We don't talk about it. But you're talking to someone. I mean, we all grew up in the different generations and different installments of the Transformers franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there are some characters that were done dirty through each one. I mean, naturally, unfortunately.
Of course.
But if there's one that I want to see, and this is one that people have wanted for a while, and this might actually surprise you.
What?
Animated Omega Supreme.
Ooh. Okay.
Give us an
Okay.
animated Omega Supreme, please. That was something that we were teased throughout the entire show. We had all these other Voyagers and these leaders and deluxes and activators, and we never got a big boy. We now have that capacity to make these characters a thing. For fuck's sake, we have an arc. We have an autonomous Maximus, and our next Titan is going to be the Nemesis. Give us Omega Supreme.
I agree. You could probably retool a good one from the existing Titan.
Exactly.
They're making a Nemesis?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the only thing that Savage immediately latched onto.
Oh yeah, I was like, I'm hearing this is the first time. What they're actually making Nemesis transform as well.
Yep.
Don't know how they're gonna do with all the spikes though.
All right.
I was gonna say, and
Your
I think-
turn, Woody.
Yep, I would definitely, and I'm going to say I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to go British type continuity here.
Okay.
I think we need to either see Death's Head come back in a Transformer scale, proper G1, in the proper green armored G1, not the, although, well, I would say the Marvel Legends repaint
Ultimate.
of Colossus. Ultimate was a fantastic figure. Fantastic and does fit with any G1. Either that or Centurion.
Both good
I
picks.
think there's some leeway in that British fandom there that people could go, holy shit, there's some obscure British characters there we could latch onto.
I mean, if we're getting Japanese and we're getting unreleased characters, that wouldn't be too far fetched.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, you know. Yeah, I know we're getting Japanese, but, you know, I'm just saying perhaps the British comics could deserve a bit of a look.
Can I
All
make
right. My turn.
Uh-uh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, everybody immediately shook in their boots the moment I said my turn.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, can I make an honorable mention to his question?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go on.
I was
Go
going to say, just as an honorable mention or toss out there, because they have multiple of the same licensing and they're already doing it anyway. So, I mean, maybe make a Legacy Transformers crossover Spider-Man or Darth Vader or something like that, because technically those do exist and they have the licensing for all of them.
That would be awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
That would probably still happen in, you know, the stuff like the the already existing
The
Collaborative one?
collaborations.
Yeah, like I said, but at least, like, you know, maybe like
yeah.
update those old designs because we have them still. It's just like,
You're
Yeah.
thinking like Transformers Legacy, Star Wars Transformers, Darth Maul, huh?
something like that.
Anyway, now my turn.
Uh-oh.
You get one pick, and you get one scale, or you get one size class. Choose wisely. What Unicron Trilogy character do you want to see get a brand new toy?
Damn it! I didn't see this coming.
Where are we starting? Who are we starting with?
And we're going to start with Solo.
Okay. I'm going to have to say, and I think it's a bit obvious, it would be this guy.
Jetfire.
Good old.
Okay, what
Armada
class?
Jetfire. And I think it would have to be at least Commander class or Titan class, just based on the size of this bad boy.
That's gonna be a
Especially,
big
you
pair
know,
of trousers.
especially if he's going to have to work with, you know, the current Armada Optimus Prime and possibly Overload.
See, if you make him a Titan, that omits the Magna Jet convoy.
That's
Yeah,
gonna be a big pair of trousers.
yeah,
Prime ain't
But
gonna
I-
fit. He'd have to wear like platform shoes.
but I mean, I love this figure. I mean, I know this is the Power Links repaint, but it's still a fantastic figure, and I think definitely one that would definitely sell well in the UT line.
Yeah. So who's up next?
Savage.
I'm trying to think so hard on this one. Like, of all the UT characters, at what scale? Like,
I was wondering what the hell you were doing. You're like blueprinting on your door, your wall, or something.
Yeah, door. Pretty much. Yeah, I'm just thinking like there's so many possibilities of what size, what character. But and the issue is I can't say multiple because fuck you. That's why. Oh, I think. Cause.
I think you've stumped him, BC.
Because there's so many options. There's so many possible ones.
Good God, I think.
Well, you look at this two ways. You could go for the ones that were done dirty, or you can go for the ones that you really enjoy and would love to see with modern day articulation and manufacturing.
You know what? I'm going to throw a curveball. I'm going to go with Energon Star Saber.
Ooh.
Don't you mean Wing Saber?
Wing Saber.
Oh, yeah. Wing Saber.
They look the fucking same. Okay. Energon Wing Saber.
Okay, what size class?
Honestly, I would say if they're going to try to keep the gimmick part of him where he combines, I'm going to say Commander.
They'd probably make the Prime a Commander class, and then since, if memory serves me right, please tell me if I'm wrong, Wing Saber was actually shorter than Prime Super mode. They'd probably do him as a leader.
Well, also, don't forget to take into account that size means literally nothing anymore. It's all about engineering.
That being said, though, who's next?
TFA?
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming. I mean, I could say the obvious and be like, oh, Tidal Wave Commander class or Titan class, but I'm pretty sure that's already going to happen anyway, considering Hasbro did a roundtable discussion and they know about Armada Megatron, so of course they're going to make a combination somehow. Or they're going to go do something different and just have Tidal Wave from OG combined with Armada Megatron. Now that we know that works with Overload, but you got me thinking. I'm legitimately thinking pretty hard right now. So you said only from Armada, right?
UT as a whole.
Yeah,
UT as a whole.
Okay.
Which is why I went with Energon.
I mean, there's so many good candidates, but
like you said, do you go for one that's done dirty or one that desperately needs an update?
yeah, I know. Now that I said that to someone else, I can't follow my own advice because, of course, I can't.
Struggle of life.
I'm gonna just go with a personal favorite then, and I think it's gonna be. Kind of want to see a new Cybertron Leo Breaker.
Look at what you've done to Sav. Look at what you've done to BC.
Now,
for one, easy repaint into Nemesis Breaker, which would lead to a future Cybertron Megatron release. Two,
look at it.
That is incredibly underrated, considering he's also an evolution of Overhaul.
Look at that! You've done it. You've broke him. You've broke him.
And I mean, if we can get characters like Lio Convoy, who can turn to a lion, if we can get Werewolf,
Stop it.
I want to see at least a Voyager class Leo Breaker. Oh, also, did I forget to mention Victory Leo is a thing? They have the engineering for quadrupeds. I can do it.
You've broke. Well done, TFA. You've broken.
I also say that in honor of my mom because that's one of the very few times where I've asked her what's her favorite character is from a Transformers show, and she saw Leo Breaker, and she legit loved him.
Awesome.
Aladar.
My pick is somebody who was pretty good on his initial release, but was done supremely dirty on the first update. Galaxy Convoy.
Cybertron Optimus?
Uh-huh.
He does not like the WFC version.
Oh.
That triggers me in the OCD level so many ways. Give us a new one that can actually do the Savage Claw. That can do the Savage Claw mode that bounced off of TFA, and it also probably guarantee we're getting a Cybertron Wing Saber as well for Sonic Wing mode.
It's funny. I was going to say Cybertron Wing Saber, but I didn't want to back off of Savage.
Wait. I said Energon. What?
Yeah, you did.
No, I know. You said Wing Saber, and then I would have said Wing Saber, but from Cybertron, and it would have... I didn't want to be repetitive.
All right. I'm going to let you guys have some fun with this. I want you guys, starting with TFA, leading all the way up to Aladar, to guess who you think I'm going to say.
Pass. I don't know. It's been so long. I forgot some of your boys. I know Lio Convoy is a big thing, but he's already happened.
Bearing in mind, we need to stick within Unicron trilogy. I'm very much sticking in that same rule.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Screw it. I'll just say Rodimus. Energon Rodimus.
Good guess, but no. Solo.
Since you mentioned him earlier, Signal Lancer.
No.
Oh, question before I give an answer. Are we counting show-wise, or are we also including the toys that already exist in Armada to make an example of Armada Cheetor?
Show only.
Okay.
You could still technically say Rhinox.
I could, but that's not where my questioning was going. Because if that was the case, I would have been like, okay, Armada Predacon Megatron. No, that's not my answer. I'm just making an example of what if you said yes to that question.
I was just saying Rhinox because he actually does show up a couple times in like a couple scenes. It's funny, but
Anyway.
Knowing him, knowing you, it's something completely obscure to the rest of us. Energon Shock Blast.
Good guess, but no.
Fuck.
So firstly, I took a sweep around my collection and realized I fucked myself and could have said Armada Predacon because they haven't done a Transmetal Mex yet for Legacy. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, just pointing that out. Who I think you're choosing for your UT figure that gets an update show only, Cybertron Defense Red Alert.
Good guess, but no.
he stumped us all.
Deluxe class, Armada, Sideways.
You stole our
I could see the betrayal on your face, Savage.
You stole my fucking private chat thing. How dare you?
I didn't even look at the private chat this entire fucking time.
Because it's in there.
It
Word
is in
for
there,
word.
too. I can vouch for it.
You son of a bitch.
I'm telling you, dude, I did not look at the private chat whatsoever.
I guess it's just one of those great minds think alike things.
That was
Now,
gonna be like my if we're on Woody's question still, that was gonna be my other pick because that would have been like, you know what? I want to see either that or an updated version of Scavenger where he doesn't have the walker legs.
That would have been good too.
Yeah.
But
I
no,
has one.
if there
Go
was
ahead.
any character that I feel like we desperately need a new toy of entirely because of the role he played and what he set up for the future.
Oh yeah.
It was Armada Sideways.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I will. Okay.
Convoy and I had talks about Armada Sideways. That motherfucker set up everything from the get-go. I'm rewatching Armada now. Everything connects, and I'm like, holy shit, this is incredible.
I has a question. I'm bouncing off of BC, modifying it a little bit. Which toy-only character would you see come back if you could from any of the series?
Are you going to force us to guess yours?
No, because I can guarantee no one's going to be able to, because I don't know how many of you guys even remember toy-only characters from the UT.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, with him.
Okay.
Actually, I'm struggling myself.
Anyways, toy only.
Mm-hmm.
Toy only Unicron trilogy.
Yep.
So like Cheetor or Pred Megs and whatnot.
Yep.
Deluxe, Energon, Tow Line.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah. I have fond memories of picking that thing up at a Walmart close to the hospital my mom was in.
He's fun, isn't he?
I fucking love that thing. I missed him. I got him back a couple of years ago.
Oh, actually, I just had a thought.
What?
I would go Checkpoint and Prowl.
Okay. Very nice.
Ooh.
Give them an update.
Very nice.
I had that. I had that Prowl and the Checkpoint 2-pack, and it was a fun 2-pack. Yeah, the Cop Prowl, the Cop Rodimus repaint.
I'm surprised they didn't make those their like Energon repaints in the show, like how Cliffjumper was Beachcomber, Ironhide was green, Jetfire was Overcast, and Hotshot was silver. Oh, and Landmine turning into Landquake.
So,
But yeah, that's what I would go for.
I'm not completely versed in UT toy only ones because I've only had like 2 of them.
So
maybe 3.
go off of who you know.
Although one's a universe mold, and it's just like it just took the already existing Armada one and took off that. So that's fuck it. The only one I really know of is Armada Cheetor. So
okay.
The Herald
BC?
of Unicron, or one of the Knights of, or not Knights, one of the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Your turn, BC. I'm making TFA go second to last for a reason. I want him to have a chance to think about it and also build up to it because he knows this stuff just about as well as I do.
I said mine.
Oh, well then TFA, you're up.
He went first. May I ask what installment of the Unicron trilogy?
All 3.
So this was a mold that was used through all 3?
If you could choose a toy-only character from any of the 3.
Oh, my bad. Toy only though. I don't know. It'd be cool to see maybe Energon Ultra Magnus.
You mean like out of Overload?
Yep.
Okay, very nice pick. If we get the Overload, that'll most likely happen as a Gen Selects redeco or something.
If not, I'll track down an Energon Overload myself. Or not Overload, Ultra Magnus.
I don't know how many of you remember this at all, and once you realize what he turns into, it'll make all the sense for me. Transformers Cybertron Repugnus.
You know, it's funny because I got that from a friend of mine in high school. But I was thinking him or the one Decepticon that turns into a what's the word? Not a Gila monster.
You mean Recluse?
Yeah. What the hell does he turn into? A Leviathan lizard?
He turns into an iguana with a spiky pack.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to have to look this up, or Aladar tell me what the hell.
No, okay. No, Recluse, he turned into a Komodo dragon. That's what I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, for Repugnus, he turns into a Velociraptor.
Yep.
Uh,
Technically a Spinosaurus, if you want to argue.
He's a raptor with a big spike on his back.
Yep. And he was a repaint of Undermine.
Mm-hmm. If we get an Undermine, it's almost guaranteed we're getting that Repugnus, and that was the only way I got that mold. I missed that thing. What? What?
It's a fucking Spinosaurus!
No, he's a raptor with a spike on his back.
And you're a dumbass with no brain. Anyway.
Get his ass out of here.
Aw.
I was going to say, BC, and this idiot wants to be a paleontologist.
Oh. I know it's a thing you guys do, but be nice.
This is just the way we are.
I know.
I was going to say, Aladar, you can't...
Anyways.
Let Solo say his piece.
I was going to say, you can't identify dinosaurs and you want to be a paleontologist.
He has more raptor features than he does Spinosaurus. The only reason people say that is because of the big spike on his back that looks like a Spinosaurus sail.
Finn?
He can't even identify biology correctly. Jesus Christ.
I mean, to be fair,
It was-
Spinosaurus has like a rack of like spikes. That only has one.
Anyway,
Eleanor,
yes.
what precisely with that entire design makes you say raptor?
Literally all the dinosaur expertise I have. It would take way too long to explain all of it.
The dinosaur expertise that you can't tell the difference between a Spinosaurus and a raptor in the first place.
And apparently, just like with, not to dunk on you for it, but just like with TFA and AoE Grimlock being a Carnotaurus.
I just, again, for my defense, I only go off what the toy said. If it says it's a T-Rex with horns, it's a T-Rex with horns. I don't really care. It's a giant robot that turns into a dinosaur from space.
Again,
Exactly.
I'm not dunking on you in this instance, but I'm pointing that out.
No, I know. I'm not taking anything with hostility or aggression or animosity or anything like that.
So, BC is having a psychological breakdown there. Savage, do you have a question that relates to this?
What's your last
Wait.
wish?
Wait.
Aladar?
Yes.
You do fucking realize they based that figure's design off of the Spinosaurus from JP3.
That explains most of the problems.
So
Oh.
you're really about to sit here and claim that you know better when even Takara themselves have you outdone here. Sit in the kitty corner and shut up.
They always thought that the Spinosaurus, up to that point, was a souped-up raptor with a spine on its back. Recently, it's been discovered it was more aquatic and a lot thicker.
That is true. I remember seeing that on Facebook.
So, with all respect to old paleontological knowledge, that's where most of the problems come in.
Oh,
What BC basically just said was shoot me. Shoot me.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
And this is sort of the whole theme of like asking everyone, obviously, but what's one universe from Transformers that you want to see be properly represented in Legacy?
Robots in disguise.
Well, let me rephrase. One that hasn't technically been done yet.
Robots in disguise.
He don't believe that Scourge exists.
I don't believe that
There's
whole
Wickham.
line exists either. Fuck that
You
thing.
don't like Scourge?
That's not Scourge. That is
Who is
not
it then?
Scourge. It is not Scourge. It is a typical Nemesis Prime repaint. I refuse to accept it. It is not RID Scourge.
It is RID Scourge.
Woody, don't.
And
I respect his view.
It says RID Scourge on the box, though.
That's because they're idiots.
and
It
he's
also
gone
says
too.
Robots in Disguise 2000 on the box. Does that make it true?
No.
So anyway,
I'm down here.
Oh, was that my 10 seconds in the penalty box?
That wasn't even 10
Yes.
seconds.
Savage obviously has an answer to the question. Let's let him say it.
Sorry, Savage. Go ahead.
I've already waved it over earlier with my video game, Follow Cybertron. That toy that needs some love as well, majorly.
Well, you'd be happy to know War for Cybertron's getting some love.
Not the same though, because
No, but
They-
leading up to what could possibly happen. Because if they're shifting
Fair
from
point,
movies to a video game into studio
I-
series, Follow Cybertron is soon to follow.
I'm actually going to go ahead and change my answer,
Okay.
but I'm going to let everybody else finish first before I say it.
So who wants to go next then?
Aladar.
Oh, fuck it. Okay.
Bust.
Universe 2003.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm with
interesting.
you there, brother.
Okay. Solo.
I would want to see more of the foreign stuff and even European stuff only make an appearance.
So, like G1 Europe?
Yeah, sort of the late G1 era, especially the comics and stuff. And
What?
Like,
Road
you know,
Ranger and Puffer weren't enough for you, you greedy bastard?
Let me point this out.
that's go that hey, they're GoBots, okay? They're GoBots. I don't
released in
count
Europe?
those.
Let me point this out. That
Okay.
the Skyquake the TFA has a massive opportunity to be done into Euro Generation 1 Skyquake.
Yeah, I would love to see the G1 Predators. That'd be cool.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. The Predators,
Also, that
the
interaction
Turbo.
wasn't meant to be hostile or anything. I know it's our first meeting, which, by the way, pleasure to meet you, Solo, but that wasn't meant to be harsh or anything.
It's okay. You know, like the Predators, the Turbo Masters, that
Oh,
sort
you
of.
bitch. You had to mention the... I just saw the Chosen Prime exclusive for TFCon, and I'm pissed off.
I'm
That
guessing it's.
boss. I don't even like Masterpiece, and I want that boss.
You know, that's the sort of thing because I grew up with these, and the Cyberjets. That's another one. BC, go on.
For my change to my answer, I am changing from Robots in Disguise. Let's see how much I'm going to pick you guys' brains. And more, so just kidding.
You
If you were
bastard.
serious, and I'm just saying this as a guest who has no power, but I think you should have booted yourself from just for saying that. Animorphs are
I'm with him.
Animorphs
It's
are
Kiss Play.
terrible. Oh, he actually.
I was gonna say.
Wait,
I
has
was
that
gonna
ever happened before?
I was gonna say it's Kiss Plays, isn't it?
Hold on, has that ever happened before?
He's booted himself in 4, yes.
Yeah, it's just now starting to become more of a thing for him.
Okay.
BC, it's Kiss Plays, isn't it?
No, we don't speak of.
Although some updates to those figures would be nice because the designs are cool.
You're talking about the girls, or are you talking about the bots?
The bots. I've seen the galleries on Sabertron. The bots look cool.
I
Any
actually got to see
wait.
some of the mint and sealed box at my local toy shop.
Let BC say his thing.
Sorry.
I want to see how well you guys actually do remember this.
Hmm.
The Dinobots line.
Yes.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Kind of. T-Rex,
Yes.
I kind of remember.
He's talking about that subline after Armada.
Yeah, I kind of remember it had the like T-Rex in it and a bunch of Beast era Dinobots.
Wasn't one called like what was his name? He was a repaint of a Beast Wars 2 Triceratops. Sorry.
What is it?
What it was, the most prominent one that's sticking out in my head, there was a repaint of Beast Wars Dinobot that was turned into sort of G1-y Grimlock. And they basically followed that line of logic with it. The Triceratops was actually probably slag or something, made out of Tricerodon or Gildart, whichever you want to go with.
I think they actually called him Tricerodon.
I thought, I'm fairly sure the one I'm thinking of was a red repaint of Beast Wars Megatron that was called T-Rex.
That was in Beast Wars itself. I have that figure. Thank you, BC.
Beast Machines.
Anyway, Dinobots would be awesome to see.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting choice.
So, Mr. Addict, prove your addiction and tell us what your answer is.
From a toy line or universe that has not properly been represented yet.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're getting some via leaks.
Hmm.
We haven't seen any yet.
Get your ear out of here.
But I kind of want to see some updated Cyberverse stuff.
Interesting decision. Interesting.
Because I know we're getting Shadow Striker.
Really?
From a leak, yeah, we're getting Shadow Striker. But I want to see what else I can do because a lot of the Cyberverse characters in that show were Rob, especially Tarn. But then again, we got IDW Legacy Tarn, so.
You want to know who got robbed? Astro Train.
You want to know what we almost got? You want to know what we almost robbed ourselves of?
What?
Dun, 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 dun,
I'm clearly missing something.
Just watch. TFA, the gimmick here is the Savage kills himself in a different way to the Imperial March every week.
Oh my god.
It's funny as shit.
I was just mildly... Okay, that's bullshit. I was just very confused.
Okay. Fair enough. We wouldn't be surprised.
Didn't know. Hold on, you're confused. Yeah, I recall if I did like one or two while you were there, while you were still here back then.
Yeah, but you're also talking to someone who has the memory of the equivalent size of a walnut.
I mean, we're also hanging out with a guy with the equivalent brain size of an atom. So I mean,
look, I might have an atom-sized brain, but TFA has the memory of a goldfish.
I mean, Aladar, I'm just saying, you are the only guy I know that could lose a battle of wits to a stuffed iguana.
I slid down a dam. What do you expect?
Density! And it turns out you don't have any of that.
Anyway, you were trying to say TFA over everyone else?
Something about Cyberverse, that's all. Oh yeah, a lot of the characters in that show got robbed of like actual good toys, especially for the deluxe line, because that only lasted 2 waves.
I have this Starscream. He's fantastic.
I love that Starscream, but everything else yellows.
Apparently, BC also has the memory of a goldfish.
least I didn't get my ass whooped by an ant.
Hey, at least be. Oh, I shouldn't mention that.
Hey guys, we made an accomplishment here on my end. I've gone this whole episode without ripping one.
And there's the kiss of death. Don't tempt the universe. What is wrong with everyone who says that? Oh, nothing can go wrong. What goes wrong?
Well, you should at least remember his reputation. That's his main job of saying that kind of thing.
He's the guy that will say, "At least I never farted." Then, like literally 5 seconds later, he'll fart.
Should have a nickname called the Ass Master or Ass Blaster.
I mean, TFA. I'm going to tell you this, right? We did a New Year's live stream. We had a sportsman bet with Aladar that we would, as soon as we went on stream, if he could last until midnight, his time, without farting once, right? I would buy him a toy of his choosing up to the value of $100.
It's a good bet.
I lost.
He didn't even last 10 minutes into the stream before he started blasting.
And if you want to go see that, if you want to go see that moment, it's live.
Oh, let's not also forget the fact that there was one point where I couldn't stop ripping ass and I kept killing Woody's Wi-Fi and I made his laptop scream live once.
Yeah.
ATFA,
Yeah,
I have a question for you.
Oh.
I'm concerned.
Do you remember this bit of the show?
Yeah. He's already dead. Show mercy.
And there he goes.
Saddest part is, that part is aimed right at Alex.
The part is also that's scientifically accurate.
Oh, there you go.
After someone dies, as they release their bowels.
Okay. So, last call for questions.
Okay, I kind of have a doozy.
What?
Done.
Who is a character that has yet to be done from each installment of the Transformers franchise that you'd want to see have a toy of?
What exactly do you mean by this?
G1 characters that haven't been done yet. G2 characters that haven't been done yet. Pick one character from that sole universe for each one. Any class, any deco.
Personally, I couldn't think of a specific.
I'm not going to lie. It's a loaded question. It's a thinker because you're having to go through almost 40 years worth of Transformers for it.
Have mine.
I mean, to be honest, I
Signal
couldn't
answer.
think of a. To be honest, I couldn't think of a single character, but I could think of teams.
Well, you're not doing just one character as a whole. You're doing a character per universe. So, like, you pick one from G1, then pick one from G2, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, but my theory would be like, deluxe class G2 Cyberjets, or
I have a simple answer. I think I can say. So we're picking one from each universe, or like we're just going like G1 wise.
No, one character from each universe through the span of 40 years of Transformers history that you want to see as an updated toy.
So we have to pick one per universe.
Yep.
Oh,
So
no,
with
let's do G1 Wheelie.
I have my Cybertron answer, but I need to go through everything else.
It's loaded. It is loaded, but I'm curious.
I'm going to say, you have Stink Bomb up there.
You mean Gas Skunk?
Yes.
Robots in the Skies. Skybite.
Ooh. I'm going to say, BC, did I give you that hint by saying Gas Skunk is sat next to you.
He's a shark lover.
But you
Sharks will be
are.
cool, though.
But you are gas skunk, Aladar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Guarantee
See what you
if he was a
did?
Transformer, he turned to a septic tank and he'd be called Gas Master.
Very nice. I'm sorry
not
though.
septic
I
tank,
can
septic
literally
truck.
I can literally only give my Cybertron answer. I can't think of anything else for any other universe.
Like I said, it's loaded. I mean, it's a very deep thinking question, but I thought if we're nearing the end of the episode, why not go out on a limb?
I got you 2
Oh.
characters.
Ooh.
And they can be spanned through all of them.
Okay.
Warpath and Power Glide.
okay. Okay. Give it.
I know we have a Kingdom one, but I think that one deserves a better update than what we got for Kingdom.
I was about to say Kingdom got a thing, but yeah, you make a good point there.
Kingdom Warpath was not bad. I'll give him that.
It could be better.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
But
Yeah,
as well,
naturally,
Power
yeah.
Glide. When was the last time we really got a good Power Glide?
I think the last actual toy was Combiner Wars, wasn't it? When he was the target master for Superior.
I have a second answer. So, Cybertron Signal Lancer. Just do it. Core class. Make it happen.
Just a-
Studio Series Deluxe. I'm going to say... Hell if I can remember what the actual toy's name was, but I know who he's referencing. Quick Strike out of Dark of the Moon Sideswipe.
Dark Steel.
Yes, that.
I'm going to say, okay, give us an update of this guy.
You know,
Evac.
it's an insult that they haven't done that from the Dark of the Moon Studio Series Roadbuster yet.
I know.
I'm thankful they haven't.
Why? You don't like Roadbuster?
No, I love Roadbuster as a character. Just that figure was fiddly as fuck due to all the shell kibble on him.
Yeah, fair.
So we're done?
I am.
Okay. Your fate. I am merely asking this for research purposes.
Okay.
Your favorite gimmick.
Ooh.
Cyber Keys.
What was Energon's gimmick? Was that just
They had,
Energon stars and combinations for Autobots.
no, they had the Energon stars, the combinations, and for the Decepticons, they had hyper modes.
There we go.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
How was that?
The Headmaster is your favorite gimmick?
Yeah, I think it was a kind of cool gimmick that you actually got a robot.
honestly? I'm going to obviously assume that was the main gimmick of the line, obviously because it's in the fucking name. Honestly, combiners.
Combiner Wars.
The combiner gimmick as a whole is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I was asking if that's what you meant, though, when you said the name was in the line, because...
Yes.
Okay.
And then you've got
I think mine's just pretty obvious.
What?
Mini Collins.
yeah.
I mean,
Raycons.
they are fun little Micromaster alikes.
Oh, I mean, there was just something cool about the original Masters subline, you know, from the 80s, where you got two robots in one.
Hey, guys, I have a deployer. Pew! But anyway, BC.
Oh my god, you predicted Robots in Disguise 2015.
No.
We don't talk about Deceptifurries.
I forgot you guys called them that.
Anyway, moving on before we start a little international incident again.
I said it once already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it again. My favorite gimmick is Automorph.
Fair play.
And
It is
I
cool.
love that. I love Automorph entirely because of how intriguing they got with it. They did some really neat shit with a lot of those Automorph gimmicks.
I mean, Optimus Prime.
I would make the joke of, well, someone's got to love it, haven't they?
There were some that worked and some that didn't, like barricades, like mace weapon. That thing got annoying.
That was not an automorph. That was just a spring-loaded punch.
What was the automorph?
There was none. Him and
Oh.
I think Bone Crusher didn't have one.
Then what was Ratchet's? What was Ironhide's?
Ironhide.
One at a time.
Ratchet's were in his legs.
Hides
Oh, yeah.
were the panels that sprung up from his hood and his leg panels.
Oh yeah, okay. It's been so long since I messed with those toys.
They're still so fun.
I've been spoiled by Studio Series. I agree, but I like my Studio Series.
I'm going to be honest, I much prefer Studio Series now. And I think we've been spoiled.
All right, I'll be nice to Solo. I'll let him ask the question.
No, I don't need to ask a question. I've asked a question.
That's the fucking question.
What the TVC? What are we going to talk about next week?
I'm glad you asked. Next week, it's all about gimmicks. So with that said,
Bitch.
He shot you.
I don't care. I'm transforming Overload.
all right, fine then. All right, fine then.
He shot the failure.
He got the
He
Thanos
sent
gun.
it. I was going to say, VC sent him to Jesus.
No, he
I
got
will send
the
you to Jesus.
Thanos gun.
God.
He dusted Aladar.
Wait, hold on. Dude. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Maybe a few years later, too soon.
Now, there is another gimmick that we do on the show,
Hello.
and the guinea pig is you. Have fun.
You sent him to a corpse. You realize that, right? I farted and killed the monster.
You sent him to the Shadow Realm.
No, what I did, I sent him to the back rooms. There's a monster back there.
Which I
Some bitch, fucking stupid little.
Oh, there's a new one. Okay.
What? Why was the other one so gassed out to the bone? What the fuck, Aladar?
I pooted.
I thought it was just gas, not a flamethrower. Who gave you a lighter?
Well, unfortunately for you, Savage, since you were the last one back there, you got to be the one to clean it up.
Oh, fuck.
The death is continuing to spread. This is as bad as... I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, for God's sake!
Someone get this guy in a hazmat suit.
Oh, he's done it again! Oh! Oh! Oh!
Are you okay, Woody?
Oh.
Did anyone see him? Did anyone see where he went?
No.
I'm so very lost.
I found a helmet back there.
Aladar, what the fuck, man?
Okay,
Oh.
well, you use that helmet to protect yourself, okay?
No, stop it.
How long does this go on for?
Give it a minute.
Are you okay?
You fucking gassed me, you bastard.
I'm scared.
Look, I've been doing it for over a decade. You would think you would think you'd be used to it after I killed your first laptop.
What the hell
Yeah.
just happened there?
You farted and I could smell it in here. You
Wow,
farted
Voodoo
and
technology was so innovative recently.
this asshole mastered the art of what I call telepooting.
No, we just got 4D now all of a sudden.
Honestly, this guy can fart and next thing you know I smell it and I'm like bleh.
So there's a helmet there.
Oh,
Yeah, you still gotta go clean that up.
oh.
Are
That's
you
better.
okay?
Are you enjoying the show, TFA?
I'm very confused, but also smiling, so yes.
Oh, my God's sake. You
I
know,
don't know if
you
it's
said,
okay to say this, but this is like some OnlyFans fart fetish type shit.
God damn it!
Instead
Hang
of
on.
OnlyFans, it'd be called
Hang on.
Okay,
farts.
Hang on.
guys,
Hold on.
we need to check on Savage real quick.
hang on, before you do that, BC, I'm just getting a signal from Streamlabs.
You just
Unfortunately, we've now lost our Streamlabs and YouTube funding. We must now censor ourselves in the near future.
censoring
damn it.
because of fart. Well, it is 2023.
If we want to continue getting money, we need to either stop using OnlyFans fart fetish jokes, or
No,
Or
just
lawyer
make
up.
your own private thing. Instead of calling OnlyFans, just say it's only farts.
that's how I
God damn it!
don't get. Look,
There
TFA,
you go. You got a
don't
money
give.
idea. Only farts.
Do not give Aladar ideas.
Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight.
He's already a walking toxic waste dump.
I'm telling you, if he was a transformer, septic truck, gas master, it's right there.
Well,
Anyway.
anyway, exists though.
Anyways, I think we've taken up enough y'all's time. This has been BC.
I've been Aladar.
We don't get to do a plug. I'm the Savage.
Oh shit!
I know.
I'm sorry. I forgot. Go ahead.
Fucking dig it. Making me get thrown around by a monster and you don't let me do a plug in. I just gotta fucking.
I love how Aladar posted.
Do the
I
fucking
put it in the
plug.
Firstly, secondly, if you want to share your thoughts about what we just now discussed about on today's topic, and you don't really have anywhere we can really discuss it on, may I just recommend the Scrapyard community server. We welcome all those who are willing to share their opinions on whether it be this topic, last week's topic, or hell, even upcoming topics such as what was just announced on this episode. That's another thing we won't get to do today. So, if you wish to make that discussion, there will be a link to the Discord server in the description. Probably not, but in definitely in the comment section down below.
Aren't we also sponsored?
No.
Last I
Anyway,
checked, we still
now
were.
that's been done, I've been BC.
I've been Aladar. Ugh.
The Savage.
I've been Solo Jones.
And I'm TFA 1024, the TF Addict.
And we will see you guys next week.
Thank you very much, Ang.